What it is, Brad Lea back again with another episode of Dropping Bombs. Today in the studio, folks, I got a real treat for you. As always, Moses is in the house. What's up?
What's up, my man?
Folks, if you guys don't know this dude, Moses Heredia. Heredia. You guys can find him on social media, by the way, at Moses Heredia Jr. Heredia, people, how do you spell that? Heredia. Moses Heredia Jr. So there was a senior.
Yeah, my dad, man, he's still kicking, lives in Texas, West Texas in New Mexico, where I was born and raised, in Hobbs, New Mexico.
Hobbs, New Mexico.
Yeah.
So, folks, Moses, which is known as the Maverick Mogul with a heart of gold. Why do they call you the heart of gold?
You know what, man, I'm a little humble about that, but, you know, my staff really put that together. They uncovered a lot of stuff now that I'm on social media. They uncovered a lot of stuff that I would do in the past. Where in my hometown, what I would do is buy layways at Walmart for all the people there. And I did it for so many years. And finally, layaway, they stopped it. Walmart stopped it there. And I was so disappointed. So I went home one night, right? And I was scratching my head because I would do it near December. And I was so pissed off. So I grabbed a scotch, brother, and I grabbed a cigar. And I went out and just started sparking it up. Like, what am I going to do, right? I want to do something for my hometown, but it's always been Secret Santa. They don't know it's me. So then I was like, I got a great idea, man. So I emailed the elementary school where I went to school because the living conditions there and the poverty was really bad. So I emailed the principal. Sure enough, within 48 hours, I got a response, and I was so freaking excited. So I told her, hey, I'd like to buy the whole school something at Walmart. And she's like, well, you know, yeah, back and forth. I said, all right, forget about it. Let's do a gift card of $150 for the whole school. And she kind of choked. She's like, whoa, are you serious? I'm like, yeah, I'm freaking dead serious. I used to go there. I know what it's like. And I go back and visit my family. So it's beat up, and I know the poverty there. So long story short, I did that, and I did it all in private. However, my sister ratted me out because someone had to go to the school to give the gift cards from Walmart, so $150 for each student. My sister rats me out. You know, I got a freaking reporter calling me. So then they said, hey, we want to make a story about it. I'm like, nah. So they begged me, and then the principal called me. He's like, hey, they really want to make a story about this. I said, all right, go ahead, man. So finally I gave in, and then they made a little story about it, but it was...
Why so against it?
You know what, Brad? I think it's just the way I was raised, humbly. You know, I come from very poor beginnings, man. I didn't have much growing up, and my mom would always be a giver, so I just give back. But I don't want them to know who it's coming from, and I don't know why.
Why do you think that is?
I don't want to take the pride, brother. I think it's more. I do it more faith related. I don't want to be like a pat in the back. I don't need that shit. You know, what I need is just to see the people smile. And make them happy, brother, because I remember coming from humble beginnings, and when I would get something, receive something, I would treasure it so much. And fuck, man, I just get emotional. Listen, I know the worth of the dollar, bro, you know. And
you just told me not to get you emotional.
I know, dude. I'm like, hey, once you talk about my mom and my upbringing, man, it's she was my mentor. She was everything to me, man. And I just want to live her legacy. So they did the paper, living her legacy, brother. So I went ahead and gave in and did it, man.
You should start a foundation that named after her.
You know what, brother? That's a good idea, because actually I thought about it, and I have it on my notes on my goals to do. So many goals, but that one's on the list, my man. Yeah, it is.
Because you could even get people that love that and donate.
Yeah.
And you get a 501c3 set up in your mom's name. Call it the Heredia Foundation, or Heredia.
Yeah, Heredia.
I said Heredia.
That's all right.
Or just Ellistina Foundation.
Yeah. That's awesome, brother. You know what? Yeah, I have to get my ass on there every day. You know, there's something else that comes up, but I need to put my ass down and get that done, because I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for her, brother. So yeah, I gotta let the legacy live on, man.
Yeah. Not only that, I mean, dude, it just like, you know, it's a good thing to do. When you were saying that, I'm thinking, dude, because I always feel like in my mind, how can I help a family or two or three? I mean, I don't want to give up, you know, freaking $1 trillion because I don't have. But, you know, I've been blessed, yeah. And I've always asked myself, I wonder how I can, like, because I want it to go to the family. I want the family to wake up with presents when they wouldn't have.
100.
I want them to, like, Like give every kid $150. Well, maybe that kid's a dick, and that kid freaking that kid's not broke. You know, they got money. All you did was let him buy candy bars. So I never know like where it goes.
Right.
I always think like, how can I find the family that realistically
needs it?
They're not getting gifts. And by the way, there's been days when we grew up that we didn't really get 1,000 gifts, but we always got gifts.
It's awesome though.
You know, I mean, but I always make a joke that says the only Christmas time that I didn't get a gift, my dad, you know, was innovative. He cut a hole in my pocket so I'd have something to play with. And then everyone, you know, some people get offended when I say that, but I'm joking. We didn't have a lot of money growing up. But we always had Christmas presents. And I would hate to know that there's little kids out there that wake up Christmas morning and they don't get it. But more importantly, I would hate for some father or mother to feel that way. Because, dude, they have to feel some sort of guilt and shame that they can't afford to get presents for their kids.
Yeah.
And they love their kids more than anything. They want gifts in the morning. They don't have any money. And I want to find those people so I can like Secret Santa them. I don't need cameras to follow me and say, look what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Although if they found out, I'm not ashamed of it either. But at the end of the day, it's not for credit. So I know why you don't want the credit, but that's a good idea what you're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah. I tell you what,
Well,
Brad,
paying off layaway, that's another good one. Because why is it on layaway? Because they don't have anything.
that was me, brother. I was on layaway. That's why it reminded me, and that's why I do that. I remember when I first moved to California, man, I was a kid. I moved down on my birthday, 17, on my own. I left my mom and dad. And it was my decision because back at home, I was just drinking, hanging out with the high school kids, and I knew I was going to go to disaster.
What town is this?
Hobbs, New Mexico.
Hobbs, New Mexico.
Small
Population
town.
18.
Yeah, when I was out there, bro, population was probably like 10, 12,000. Like, now it's grown a little bit, but moving out here, dude, I don't remember, man. Like, I put shit on layaway, bro. I put shoes on layaway when I moved out here. So that's what sparked and resonated with me. But getting back to the school, so the principal calls me and she said, Moses, I wish you would have been here. Next time, if you ever do this again, I need you here. The parents were lined up in tears because they didn't have food in the refrigerator. They said a lot of them said they were going to buy a gift for the kid, but put fucking food on the table, bro. Dude, I broke down like a kid, like a baby. But the reason why, Brad, because I grew up there. I know the poverty and I know how bad it is. And it was on the other side of the tracks, man. So listen, man, that's why I do a lot of it. And a lot of it is being resurfaced of what I've done. You know, but, you know, it is what it is. Now I'm like, I don't care anymore. It's like, you know what? I'm doing it for the God and for the kids. But I love your idea, man. I'm going to have to take that on, man. And I put a 501c. And I love, like you said, because sometimes I give and I'm like, shit, is it going in the right hands? You know, is it going in the right hands? I think that shit too, because I hate for that to go in the wrong hands. And I want it to go to where the kids need it, man. And, there's a lot of them. Oh man, there's a boatload, brother.
Unfortunately. And again, I mean, you know, a lot of my audience are entrepreneurs. Some of them are wantrepreneurs, meaning, you know, they're interested in building businesses and getting into business and becoming wealthy and yada, yada, yada. A lot of them so they could help people. So for anyone listening there, we can talk a little business too. Why? Well, because again, you got one of the biggest global payment processing companies on earth.
You know, I've been really blessed, Brad. Thanks, man. Yeah, it's global processing systems. I've had it for 21 years now, man. It started from scratch. I used to work for the second largest processor in the world for 10 years. And one day I just, they made me an offer to be VP in Louisville, Kentucky. And I'm a California boy. I'm like, F this, man. I'm not going to Louisville, Kentucky. And I just decided, you know, it's time for me to walk and resign and open my own shop. So I didn't have an office. I didn't have nothing. I just walked out, and it took me about 3 months to finally get an office, get my shit going, get a bank account, get my business name, fictitious, all that. But
what gave you the balls to do it? Because there's a lot of people afraid to make that transition.
Dude, I was there for 10 years. So yeah, what gave me the balls was my mom. Check it out. She was also always an entrepreneur, bro. She came to the United States as an immigrant, never went to school, even in her country. She didn't know how to read or write. She learned everything. So she had rentals, right? Property rentals. Then she had a restaurant. Then where I learned and got the grind and learned all about this was at the fields, because I used to work in the bell peppers, cucumbers, cotton fields, peanuts. So what gave me the balls was my mom when I was 5 years old, knocking on doors, bro. Bro, I would go farm to farm with her to translate, knocking on farmers' doors to earn their business so we can do their crops. And we'd say, hey, we got a bunch of laborers. Do you need hands? And they're like, yes, I do, as a matter of fact, because we would travel in West Texas, just drive forever. So what gave me the balls was, as a little kid, I was never afraid to ask for the business. I'm like, you know what? How can I earn your business? What do I need to do to earn your business? And that's the problem with a lot of these youngsters these days, brothers, that motherfuckers don't ask. They don't ask for the business. They want shit to be given to them. And they need to, you know what? You need to buckle down and get your ass off and ask people for the business. And I'll tell you what, if someone doesn't buy from you, ask them why. Hey, what is it the price? Is it the product? They'll be honest and tell you, at least I will. I'm like, hey, listen here. Number one, you have a shitty attitude, or number two, your product sucks, or number three, you're too expensive. Like, people need to have the balls enough just to ask. So
plus that elicits feedback, and the feedback's invaluable.
Yeah.
Because with feedback, you can make adjustments if you need to.
100%, Brad. I agree with that, man. So yeah. So anyway, I walked out, you know, at 28 years old, and opened my own company, and I was not afraid, man. I was not afraid, and I think a lot of it had to do with you know, the God. I'm very faithful, dude. And
have you always been?
Yeah, man. My mom would take me to church since I was a baby, since I was a kid. I would sleep on the freaking benches, bro, as a little toddler, man, and wake up, and I'm like, oh, shit, it's still going on. I'd go back to sleep. So, yeah, my mom would take me, and even as an adult, actually, I left church. I didn't go to church for a while, bro. So when I moved to California, there was no church for me for like, shit, maybe 10, 12 years, no, maybe 8, 15 years, I would say. But I could tell you what, I still would pray. I was still like, hey, God's with me. You know, I was still there, but I wouldn't be like where I'm today. Today, I'm like, oh, shit, you know, all the miracles that he did in the past. Now, as you get older, you get a little wiser, man, you know. At least I would say for us males, we wise up a little later than the women. But nah, God's been good to me, brother. So anyway, getting back to the balls, it was my mom, man. I walked out, bam. After working there 10 years, doing over good money, salary, this, that, you know, big position, 95 employees, 7 offices throughout the West Coast, all that shit, right? Anyone else would be like, oh, no, I'm going to be a corporate guy. Fuck that. My mom was like an entrepreneur, bro. She was commission only, too. So I would get 25 seconds per bucket, dude, on the cucumbers. 25 cents. So they would give me a token for every cucumber bucket that I would fill, 5-gallon buckets. And that was the grind, man. And it appreciated the dollar.
Well, dude, Latinos have always been known for working hard. My grandmother's Latino.
Interesting.
My dad would make him half and half Irish because my grandpa's Irish. And so, you know, I have a Latino family. And dude, work ethic, you know, they always freaking work. Like work. And what's crazy, especially about the Latinos, I always said to my buddy who's Latino, I said, dude, if I could speak Spanish, dude, I'd freaking go unite them all. Because number one, they're called a minority when I hate to like tell the secret, but they're not the minority. Like if you go to prisons, by the way, and you're Latino, you're in better shape than any other race. Why? Because in there they got politics. And when you go in there, you have to get with your own. I mean, that's the way they have it there on purpose. And I asked a guy that was in prison for a long time. I said, well, what's the best race to be in prison? He said, Mexican. I said, why? He said, because of the number of them, you know, the collective number. Well, in prison, they're not the minority, they're the majority. And nowadays, I believe, like, especially in southern states, dude, the Latino community, if they just band together and united, they'd own shit.
Powerful.
They'd own shit. And if I could speak Spanish, because my grandmother spoke Spanish, and what's crazy, dude, is I read Spanish sometimes and I hear people say something, I say, does that mean this or does that mean that in writing? And they're like, yeah, how'd you know? I'm like, I don't know how I know, but I, you know, am Latino. Yeah. I would go in Spanish, unite them all. Do you get a lot of Latino business just because of you're a Latino owner and you got the Latino Business Association Award?
You know what, man? I tell you what, one of my successes when I was a youngster and they gave me an office, I was 22 years old when I worked for the second largest corporation in the world with merchant services. They didn't know what the hell I was doing. It's like, where am I getting this business? I penetrated the Latino market so bad, and now obviously I didn't ignore the English market, so I was double dipping. And they're like, what the F is this kid doing up there? Because I was kicking all their asses. So I was very
Latinos
successful.
Stick together.
Dude, so to answer your question, hell yeah, man. I mean, I murdered it. I killed it. They were inviting me to special this, special that, special promotions, bullshit. And I was like, you know, I didn't know my worth, man. I was just a kid. I was just a farm boy, right? No education. I was just a hustler, right? So I didn't know any better. So I didn't know my worth at the time.
Did you speak Spanish? Do you speak
Spanish?
Spanish?
100%. Oh, man. Yeah. Claro que sí, man. ¿Cómo estás?
See?
Yeah. 100%.
Lucky.
So, yeah, man, it's definitely being bilingual, especially in my culture, the way I was taught. So one thing, Brad, check it out, man. Let me just back up a little bit. Dude, my mom would wrap me up like a burrito, bro, in the pickup truck, like 4:30 in the morning. It was dark to take the laborers to work. She'd put me in the floorboard of the pickup truck so the heat would turn on, and she would turn on the heat. So I never had a babysitter. So earlier you asked me, hey, well, how'd you get the balls? Well, dude, I never had a babysitter. My mom was everything from, I was always around her in her meetings when she was hustling. So anyway.
So your mom was who put that in you.
100%.
Awesome.
Yeah, man. I'm just so happy to talk to her. Because I tell you what.
Where was your dad?
Dude, he's still alive, man. I love him. I talk to him.
But where was he?
Working blue collar. He in the Rostamel, which is oil fields. Because there you do two things, brother. Oil fields or you're a laborer. And that's it. And, you know, he all his life, he was just a clock in, clock out kind of a blue collar guy. There's nothing wrong with that. Hey, fuck, there's nothing wrong with that at all, man. I listen, all my hats to all the hard workers out there. And like my dad, you know, I love the guy, talk to him every week. But listen, who ran the show and who had the balls was my mom. I mean, my mom just, she was just dynamite, man.
See, I always tell people that are doing the hard work, like your dad, like my dad and half my family, dumb. Like, might be too late to do anything about it now because you're retired. But, and again, nothing wrong with that kind of labor or hard work. But, dude, I always say, if you really want to succeed in life, you're going to need to be in the position to receive commission.
100%.
And like my whole family, they ran from commission jobs. They were scared. They wanted guarantee. They wanted this shit. And guess what that did? It gave you those labor jobs.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, who do you think's paying you? Some dude that ain't doing the hard labored bullshit.
Yeah.
So if you spend your whole life in those hard labor, yeah, you know, hats off. But no, not hats off. In my mind, it's like, hello, wake up. Don't teach that, because my parents tried to teach me that. Thank God I didn't listen to my parents.
Yeah, you know that.
If I'd have listened to my parents, dude, I would still be working at a mill in the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah.
You know, I might be at, you know, $48 an hour. I might be the supervisor right now. It's crazy, dude.
Yeah, you know what, Brad? That's the old way thinking, brother. Go to college, get a good job, and get a secure and get a salary. That's that. No, listen, that's the old mentality. And thank God that you didn't listen either. And my mom, thank God that she taught me business. You know, so. You know, but it takes a special dude like you and me, you know, and those listeners out there, that if you're an entrepreneur, man, it's we eat and breathe a different meal than the regular crew, man.
Yeah, but you got salespeople making change.
Yeah, I got a lot of salespeople. I have salespeople that have been with me since the birth of the company, man. So got a lot of loyal guys. Obviously, I'm loyal to them. And
what kind of dough they making? They're on commission now. Yeah,
commission only, residual. So two components. They sell a POS machine. They get commission, and then if they obviously once they install it, boom, they start swiping. I don't give a shit what they swipe. As soon as they touch that machine, they get some residual. So I have guys making north of 50 grand, one man shop. It's like, what I mean is, it's not even a company, but there is companies that work for me that they're called ABC company, but they run all their shit through me because I have lower cost.
Yeah.
Because I have the volume and I've been doing it for so long. So, man, yeah, commission only. Listen, that's where I'm at. Commission only. I mean, I eat and breathe this shit. So
people are afraid of that. But again, I got a lot of listeners maybe that aren't afraid. How many salesmen you looking for?
Listen, we're always looking for a good salesman out there. So anyone listening, and you know, you want to earn incremental residual, doesn't matter. Like, to give you an idea, Brad, I have someone that goes to Mexico for 2 months, man. They have over $40,000 in residual monthly. They don't work. They don't do shit. They go to Mexico, visit their family, come back. Their bills are paid. I have people making over 50, and it just goes on. I have the guys who are comfortable making 5,000. You know, it just
people need to understand the value of recurring revenue.
Absolutely, man. Recurring residual. Listen, I'm not talking shit to anyone out there or the listeners that if you sell a car, one-time hit, right? You sell a house, one-time hit, commission. Bro, this is one-time hit when you sell a POS, and there's residual. Make money while you're asleep. Work smarter, not harder. That's what God has blessed me with. And man, I'm glad I got into this business when I was a youngster. And shit,
I didn't know about it. Otherwise I would have too. I mean, dude, I had no idea this business even was a business.
Yeah, it's an interesting business, man. And I love it. I eat it. I breathe it. I'm in the office Monday through Friday, bro. I love it. I mean,
so you've never done anything other than the labor, and then boom, you just fell into processing?
Fell into processing, and that's all I've done. This was my first paycheck, because all the other stuff that I did for the labor was under my mom's wing. Like, in other words, she was the boss, the owner there pretty much of the contractors, right? And we'd just harvest. We were independent contractors. So when I grabbed the first check was in this business, and I stuck to it. Listen, man, I can't take credit. I'm not that smartest guy in the world, right? I don't have a degree or went to college, man. I'm just a high school diploma kind of guy. But here, I think, and I really believe that shit happens for a reason. I believe the book's open. Dude upstairs blessed me, and he had already had a path for me, because, I mean, I wouldn't have known to stuck to this. I mean, I could have gone to be a car salesman for all I know. Lord, shit. But, you know, he put me on this position, bro, and I just paved the road. The road. But I tell you what, man, Brad, listen, nothing comes easy. When I got this job, bro, selling credit card machines out there, it wasn't easy. I didn't fucking go the first day and like, bam, mate, $1,000. No, it takes time, build a pipeline, knock on doors. Just like I was knocking on doors when I was like 5 years old for the farmers out there with the immigrants. Dude, get this, knock on doors. Nothing's gonna come that fast. You gotta build it. Nothing's fucking built overnight. I don't give a shit what you do. I don't care if you sell shoes, cars, windows. Listen, at the end of the day, you got to put your hustle in, man, and get off of your ass and stop feeling sorry for yourself. Make it happen.
Dude, I was thinking, you know, grind. And then I noticed you got these 4 G's: God, goals, grind, and global. And that's core to your mission. Why those 4, and explain them?
Man, listen, I believe in 4 pillars. At the end of the day is like you said, man, God, goals, grind, and make an impact on global. For me, global is my company, but for the listeners out there, what I mean is make a global impact on whatever you do. First of all, I'm faith related since a kid, right? Since my mama got me there. So miracles, dude, I've had miracles that I can tell you about that were gnarly, right?
Let's hear one.
Well, dude, get this. Okay, so true story, man. So I just had a big presentation in Sacramento, and I talked about my 4 pillars. So when I was a kid and I would go to that church, there was a Sister Palmer. R.P. Palmer was her name. She was the pastor there. So I went home and I found my mom in the worst condition, because when I moved to California when I was 17, I didn't want to go back home empty-handed. I want to go home and take some cash to her. So it took me 6 freaking years, bro, to come down with some cash, because my mom never believed in bank accounts. So I went out there to surprise her with some money. Freaking dude, I pulled up, bro. No shit. The house that I grew up in, that my mom and dad lived, was boarded up, abandoned. They lost it to the bank. They lost it to, they foreclosed on them, right? So she never told me, because she didn't want to worry me when I was in California. So I pick up the phone and call my sister. Hey, where in the hell's mom, dad? What the hell's going on? She told me, yeah, well, they lost it to the bank, yada, yada. I'm like, she gave me an address. I bolted over there. Brad, I broke down, man. I seen my mama in the worst condition, bro. I've never seen her. Like, she was more wrinkly, hair gray, fucking hair was just bad. And then the living conditions were terrible. I wouldn't wish that upon anyone, right? So my mom the market crashed over there with the oil fields. So my dad lost his job. It was a shit show. No crops, nothing. I was there in less than an hour, and I said, this money I came to give you, Mom, I'm not giving it to you. I'm going to go look for a property for you. Boom, I bolted, bro. She was the happiest, though. Before I left, her freaking smile was from ear to ear. It didn't matter how bad the environment was, holes that were on the ground, and it was thrashed where she lived. She didn't give a shit about that, bro. All she gave a shit was just having her baby home to look at her, to visit her. So I said, Mom, I got some cash. I'm not giving it to you, Dad. I'm out. Went to go look for a freaking, I'll get to the story right now. I went to go look for an agent. Boom. Let's go find the property. So they're looking properties for me. I'm looking myself on the newspaper at that time. This was in the 90s, and I was a 22, 3 maybe. That's when I bought my mom's house, brother. So I'm looking around. I found a property, and just on the outside, I'm like, man, this is a nice property. It's on the other side of the tracks. It's a brick home, because over there we have tornadoes, so we need something expensive for her. It was next to the mall. I'm like, bam, I found it. I go pick up my pastor. At this time, she's late 70s. Sister Palmer, I was like, hey, man, I need you to come over here and take a look at this house for me and help me pray for this, man. As soon as we got off, we just went around the yard, bro. She prayed for it. Boom. She's like, you know what, Moses, this is going to be your mom's house. And she's jumping up and down, man. And I was like, and, you know, I was like laughing. I'm like, all right, cool. So we left. Long story short, I did the paperwork, put an offer. They accepted. I came back home because I worked for a W-2 company at the second largest processor at that time. So I had to get to work, right? A week later, dude, I get a phone call from the lender and the real estate agent's like, Moses, you don't qualify. We can't sell you this house. I'm like, what are you talking about? They go, why didn't you tell us you're an investor? I'm like, I'm not an investor. They said, you own property in California? I said, yeah, that's my house. That's my residence. Well, now you're trying to buy property here. Yeah, it's my mother's. Well, it's 2 different states. So therefore, you have to come in as an investor and give more money down. I'm like, dude, I don't have that money. I gave you everything I had. That's all my shot. So he's like, he pretty much hung up on me. He's like, hey, you either have the money or this deal's off. Boom, hung up the phone on me. I'm freaking just devastated, bro. I'm crushed, right? Not even 2 hours later, brother, the phone rings. It's my sister. She goes, hey, JR, because my family calls me JR, right, for Junior. It's like, JR, Sister Palmer just left my house. She came here and said that we had to pray for you, that you're having problems buying mom's house. Dude, no one knew who the agent was. No one knew who the lender was. And my sister's like, hey, are you there? I couldn't talk to her. I was like, hey, I'll call you back. I'm busy. I hung up because I was emotional and crying like shit. Like God's talking to her, praying for me right on. So I'm like, what's going on? And I was devastated, brother, because I had used all my money that I had saved up to buy this mom's house. So I put it down and I still needed more money. Long story short, I freaking hit a week later, no bullshit, Brad. In the mail, brother, was over tens at that time. To me, it was a lot of money. It was like over tens of thousands of dollars. It was probably like a little over $15,000 that was in the mail. Apparently, I had hit so many contests and so many goals and quotas that I just had a check in the mail, brother. And I was like, dude, that's a miracle. And thank you, Sister Palmer, for praying for me. And to me, that was a miracle and it was a blessing. And she told my sister, hey, tell him he's going to be okay. Tell him he's going to be fine. So to me, man, I will never forget that story, brother. And and I was able to buy my mom's house.
That's freaking awesome. So is that why, God and the 4 G's, you said you've always been religious, but like you keep seeing these things.
Yeah. So to me, that's God's real right there.
So are you Catholic? What are you?
No, man, I'm just Christian. I mean, I don't give. Check this out, bro. In my company, we call it huddle for HR reasons. So there's Catholics in there, Muslims, there's freaking Jehovah. Everybody goes in there in the conference room on Mondays at 9 in the morning, and then we end it off on Fridays at 9:30. So we go in there for a little bit, and we call it huddle. And what we do is we just talk bullshit. Everybody goes around the room, we talk bullshit like, hey, how's your weekend, or how's your day, or how's your family, how's this? And then at the end, we have someone who does the prayer. Guess what? They all have their gods, man. We don't give a shit. I'm like, we don't talk about religion. We don't say who you are, what you are, Catholic or what. But then we have Jocelyn that takes it off, boom, and we just pray. And then someone will raise their hand, hey, pray for my mom. She's going on surgery. Hey, my niece just broke her leg. Like whatever in the hell whatever the issue is, right? And some of them like have some real issues, brother. And this is a whole company we do it, right? But not everybody joins because some do not wish to go there, and that's fine. You don't have to, man. This is not obligation. I'm always there if I'm in town in the office. I'm always there, brother. So yeah, we just do a prayer to God and we check out. And everyone that is there is like, hey, man, even the newcomers like, man, Moses, I love working here, dude. I've never been to a company that they do this stuff. I'm like, listen, you don't have to. It's not obligated. It's if you want to. And we spend, I don't know, sometimes 15, 20, 30 minutes. Depends on what the topics are. And we talk about current events and shit. You know, it's just family more. It's more of a family, brother.
Is that why you're named Moses?
No, man, I'm actually just a junior because my dad's name's Junior. Shit, I just inherited the damn name.
Because Moses is pretty important in the Bible, wouldn't he?
I think God's got some plans for me then, man.
Dude, and when I asked you how old you were in the green room, you acted like, you didn't want to say. Why is that?
I don't really, this is new to me, Brad, talking about myself and talking about my age, talking about what I do, talking about what I've done. It's all new to me. So I'm a little, you got to like peel it off of me, man. I just kind of like, I go on the show when it's about me. I can talk about everybody else and pump everybody else out, but I'm not a self-promoter. Never have been. I just got in social media, like I told you, early this year.
Guys, so do me a favor. Go to Instagram at Moses Heredia, HEREDIAJR. Hit him up in the DMs and freaking follow him. He's already got a bunch of followers, but what do followers see with you? Like, what are you posting?
You know, I love what I post, man, because I told my staff, like, listen, I was against social media, right? And I told them, listen, if we're going to do anything with social media, and it took them a while to convince me, I said, it's going to have to be professional, tasteful. It's going to have to be faith-related, and somewhere where, you know, I can promote the company as well. So that's pretty much the pillars, man. It's just, you know, as long as it's a little bit of faith-related in there every now and then. Listen, I'm not 100%, you know, holy-roly. You know, I wish I could be, but it's hard, man. Listen, I'm not perfect, brother.
Well, they already could tell because you're saying shit and chat, which I always think, you know, Jeremy Jackson just said, you know, shit isn't a curse word. I can't is a curse word.
Oh man, I love that.
Yeah, I did too. I'm like, dude, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. But you got God, goals, grind, and global, meaning global impact. Goals and grind. Why those? And obviously I know, but I want to hear it from you because you got reasons for all this.
Man, goals. Listen, I like to say, you know, a goal without a plan is just a wish. I say that a lot. And if I remember being a sales guy, and I would cut the Auto Trader back in the days, bro, and I would cut a car that I wanted, and I put that shit on my cubicle with a tack. And I'm gonna be honest, to this day I still have goals. I write the shit down. Like, if you don't have goals, the fuck, you're just breathing air. You're just chasing the wind. I mean, you're chasing the wind if you don't have nothing to achieve or to go or to obtain. Now, listen, man, put an obtainable, something that's attainable, right? A goal, something that you can get, and put your short-term, long-term, mid-term goals, whatever. But put something in writing, bro. Like, I mean, there's a bunch of kids that, you know, come or at least DM me. It's like, hey, I want this, I want that. Well, what have you done to work for it? What have you done to achieve that? Oh no, I haven't. I'm just thinking about it. Well, stop thinking and do something about it. You know. So that's where I get the goals from. Like, hey, I've always lived on goals as a youngster, as a kid, and it got me where I'm at today.
Where do you live now?
I live in Laguna Niguel.
So now, like, you're not in a poverty-stricken area where you came from. You're driving Rolls Royces, running around, making money. Clearly making money with your wardrobe and your whatnot and your lifestyle. Don't you ever like wonder how you from nothing are now, you know, you built a big ass huge processing company. How don't you think to yourself, like, how the hell did I do that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think about that all the time, and I thank God for that. So that's where my 4 G's come in, brother, because I did that on those 4 pillars: is God, goals, grind, and make a global impact on people.
Well, give us a rundown on how it happened.
Yeah, man, it's a long story, but I could
when you were broke.
I was broke as hell, man. I remember when I moved here to California, it was my first job in merchant services. So I moved here when I was 17 on my birthday, right? So I have no college education. I remember I was kicking ass, bro. So I got this job, right? First job, went there, started selling credit card machines on commission only, doing great, doing well.
Where'd you see the ad? How'd you hear about it?
Dude, back in the days, bro, there was no internet, dude. This is in 1994. I went to Pomona, California on Holt at the unemployment office, and they would have a bulletin board there. And it said something about banking or some shit, right? And then they had other ones were like fast foods. I'm like, nah, man, I ain't doing fast food. I'll go over here to the financial sector. It just sounds cooler, right? So then I did that, and I was crushing it. And I would say I was in it less than a year. Boom, I got rear-ended, bro. 10 months, my car got thrashed. My back was out, couldn't walk. I started taking a bike to work, hustling, borrowing cars, asking for rides. And I would take a bike, bro, a bicycle, and pedal my way ass to the Metrolink. And from there, you know, I'd get the Metrolink or take a car. Or borrow a car, I would say. It got so bad, you know, I didn't have electricity, got shut off. I didn't have...
What would you do when that would happen?
Man, Brad, it's humble beginnings, brother. I would knock on the door to my neighbor. They're still there. I see them from time to time, and I asked them if I could borrow an extension cord so I can have some light to brush my teeth, brother, in that night, so I can brush my teeth, man, and just get ready for bed.
You just dealt with it.
Yeah, I dealt with it, brother. I dealt with that. It got so bad, I would take cold showers because I couldn't afford the gas. It got so bad, you know, fuck. I also couldn't afford for them to take the trash out. You know what I would do though? My neighbor, I would take the trash bins, and I asked my neighbor, can I put my trash bins next to yours? And he said, sure. Later on, the trash guy found out that my bins were never up in the front, and they were always ended up on his side, so he stopped taking them. So then my high school buddy would go ahead and pull up his old little Ford beat-up truck. Hector Meneses, if you're out there, brother, thank you. I love you, man. So he would pull up his truck, and then we empty it in there and then take it out to the dumpsters over there by where the stores were at. You know, we'd just go low-key and start throwing stuff in there, man.
So that's the grind part. You did what you had to do.
That's the grind.
And you kept going.
I kept going.
Most people would give up, make excuses, start blaming people, maybe even turn to crime. Did you ever turn to crime or think about it?
No, man. My mom taught me well. She raised me well, brother. She's like, hey, whatever you do, you know, don't lie, cheat, or steal, man. And she was just a hard worker, so she taught me good ethics, right?
Yeah, but sometimes, like, I've been broke. I've been, down and out. And, dude, I went to the store and just swiped food. No,
man, but I tell you what I swiped. Toilet paper, brother, from the fast food places. I couldn't afford toilet paper. That's how poor I was.
I still do that.
I'm talking about I would take it home. I'm not saying I would use it, deposit there.
Yeah, no, I was joking. No, I don't do it for real. But like, that's free toilet paper. Why would you buy it?
I couldn't afford it at the time. I would just take the toilet paper rolls. I would take napkins from fast food places. I would take their ketchup. I mean, it was just, it hit pretty hard, brother. And that's when I said, God's real, right? So I was like, God's one. So I got on my knees and I'm like, hey, God, why'd you bring me here? I remember being in the kitchen, bro, crying like a kid. Like, I didn't leave working in the fields and the farm to this. I mean, I came here to rock, to hit it, to grind and take home back to my mom something like a prize, like give her some money, right? So, I got on my knees, bawling like a kid, brother, and then I started hitting the quotas, the goals. I ended up buying me a silver little CRX 1987. Man, that was the badass car at that time. I mean, that was my Rolls Royce, brother, and I ran that shit to the ground because
CRXs were cool.
Oh, bro, that was my ride, and I got that, and then I started progressing. God just helped me. Boom, I just started going, bro. I was killing it. I would eat and breathe and just kill merchant services. One of my analogies I've always used, brother, is I would dive in the ocean, Brad, and I would never come up for air until I got that treasure, brother. I wouldn't come up for air. And that's the grind. I would just go in there and I wouldn't come up for air. When you're dying, you feel like you can't breathe. I was under the ocean and I wouldn't come up, bam, until I got that treasure. And then I would come up and get some air. I'd go back down. See, the problem a lot, Brad, is that people get comfortable. They make money. They take their foot off the pedal, brother. They get comfortable. They get freaking lazy.
And like me, it's happened to me.
Wow. Interesting. See, that's what I'm afraid of. See, so Elvis, one of the guys here asked me, hey, man, what do you fear? I said, man, the only thing I fear is not fucking grinding. I don't want to be where I used to be. So I don't ever stop grinding. I still grind. Bro, I'm in the office every day. So one of the fears is like, I know what it feels like to be in poverty and poor, I don't want to go back there. So guess what? Every effing day I'm out there hustling, brother.
That drive's a freaking blessing. The reason why I get lazy is because, you start making good money and all of a sudden you start taking it for granted. And next thing you know, you find yourself lazy. And then you got to remind yourself. But I also would have been a billionaire by now had I had your drive. A billionaire for sure. Because, dude, when I get into it and I get success quick and then I get a little bit comfy. That's why, you'll see me get in shape, then you see me get a little pudgy. And you'll see me get in shape, then you'll see me get a little pudgy. Because, dude, it's like, how do you keep that drive?
It's dedication, brother. Dedication with your work, right? Workouts. Dedication with your diet. Dedication with your relationships. Dedication with your friends. It's fucking about discipline and dedication. Without discipline and dedication, I don't give a shit who you are. You're not gonna accomplish shit. You won't. It's just you have to be on that consistently, day in, day out.
That's fucking right there. Now, I want to get into your background a little bit. So I can't believe you didn't ever do anything else other than merchant services.
Never did anything else other than merchant services, other than work for my mom in the fields, bro, and the crops out there with the immigrants, man.
So what would you say when you first started? Because they don't have training for that industry now.
Man.
Now it's like, hey, there you go sell something.
Exactly. So I built a little training mechanism at my office that we have. And when I got in the business, Brad, no shit, they gave me a freaking binder, bro. It was like 10 inches long, thick, and they said, here. And I go, what's that? They're like, that's your training manual. I'm like, what?
Go read it.
Yeah, go read it. So
was it any good?
Hell no. It was a bunch of garbage, man. I didn't understand it.
That's how it still is, FYI, unless apparently global payment systems.
Yeah. So we developed a comprehensive plan for these guys, but let me tell you that there's no way, bro. I didn't have a freaking light, bro. I wasn't going to read that shit. I went to my manager. I was like, listen, how much is this machine? He told me. What's the rate? This. Where do they sign? No shit, bro. True story. Eldon Larkin, God bless his heart. I don't know where the hell he's at now. He was older back then, so he's probably rest in peace. But check this out. He would trip out that I would grab the blank applications, blank leases, and bring them to him. It's like, hey, I don't want to mess this up, man. So here, but I got signatures. He would every time. So for the first 20 fucking deals, bro, I would bring them all blank. All the applications were blank. I just got the signatures. And he goes, how did you do that? I'm like, man, I don't want to mess up the paperwork, because if you mess the paperwork back in those days, you had to go back. And guess what? I didn't have the gas money. I didn't have the your commission will get cut in half if you got to go back for the paperwork. So I would write down their social on a regular notepad, their driver license number. I would write all their shit down on the pad, and I'd take the applications blank just with signatures so he can help me fill it out. He's like, I don't understand how people sign the applications blank with you. I'm like, listen, man, I'm just real, and I'm telling them where I'm coming from and what I need to do, and I want to earn their business and what I have to do. So it was just about trust, man. It's really, it's about relationships. Whatever you do, I don't give a shit what you do or what business you're in. It's about relationships, brother.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know. I know you don't follow me, but REAL, real. Dude, R is for relationships. Relationships are more important than people realize, and eventually you learn that. So again, I guess smart, driven, successful people must know it, but I wish everybody knew it. You know how, like, when you get old and you die, and then you start to regret all the, the Ferraris you didn't drive and the money. It's like, dude, when you get old and sick and on a deathbed, you're thinking about people. You're not thinking about all that shit. So, like, usually you have to get sick to realize how important relationships are. But then even financially, dude, every dollar we've received in our lives, believe it or not, if you go back and verify, you'll see that this is true. They come from a relationship of some kind. Mm-hmm. Every dollar you've ever received came from a relationship. And it's like, if you want more money, get more relationships. And then you're like, even in sales, like if your guy, if a sales guy starts with you and he wants to make a bunch of money, go shake a bunch of hands. I say the more hands you shake, the more money you make. The more relationships you have, the more resources you have. So again, it's like nice when you get co-signed from another successful dude. So why didn't you sell your company when you were offered a buttload of money?
You know what? Good question, brother. I actually not really have shared that with too many people, but yeah, U.S. Bank hit me up, and it's funny. It was a freaking surprise, bro. I was at this convention, right, and all the competitors are there, all the big dogs, all the big names. You got, Wells Fargo, B of A, and Chase. I mean, everyone's there. So I'm there at this convention, and I see these guys, and I know them regularly. At conventions yearly, we go, every other year. We go every year, but to different conventions. So
in the processing space?
Yeah, in the industry, yeah, processing space. So anyway, they invite me to breakfast. I'm like, all right, cool, man, I'll see you guys. But I thought it was just breakfast to shoot the shit. So it's three of them, right? And it's myself, and I'm like having my breakfast and like, hey, man, we heard about you. We know about your portfolio. We know about how you handle business. So anyway, they done the make on me, and long story short, he goes, hey, I invited you here because I'm interested in buying your portfolio and your company. I'm like, are you joking? Are you serious? And then he goes, no, I'm serious. Right then and there, I don't play games, Brad. I was flattered. I said, listen, thank you very much. I don't play games with you or anyone. I'm not interested. I never thought of selling. But thank you. I'm like really flattered, because I don't want to tell these guys, I'm not going to give anyone some bullshit hopes, right? When that's not the direction I'm going mentally, because I never even thought of selling. I was flattered. I said, listen, so the reason why I didn't sell is because, listen, I still think I'm young at heart. I have tons of energy, brother. Never done drugs. I mean, I drink here and there, and I love working out. I love what I do every day. I'm there every day, and to me, it comes natural. Like my staff has an issue or a problem, or they can't figure it out. To me, it's just like bam, bam. I can just spit it out quickly because I've been doing it for so long. So I didn't sell because I love it. Listen, and It's a debt-free company. Why sell something when it's I think you said earlier something about cash cow or something. Like, money's coming in. I mean, why sell something if it's profitable and you're happy, you know? So no, man, I was like, nah, no, thank you, but very flattered. There's offers out there, and I've gotten other offers from other smaller shops, bigger than me, but smaller, that are not well-known, like big names. But yeah, I mean, it's flattering to get a big dog that knocks on your doors like, hey, man, we're interested in buying your portfolio or in your company. What's up? I'm like, nah. But then I did ask. I'm like, hey, wait. I did ask one thing though, before I say no. Are you talking about my staff or just my portfolio? And they go, whatever you want. I'm like, nah, bro, I'm not selling. I mean, either one, I'm not going to sell.
In that industry, don't they just buy your portfolio? Because that's what they want. But so a guy could build up a portfolio, sell it, and just keep the company and rebuild the portfolio? Or do they buy your portfolio and put you on some sort of non-compete?
Exactly. They do. There's different ways to slice that, Brad. They do both. And if they're smart, they do both and keep the staff happy and keep the owner, which would be myself, there for a year or so that way if everything still is copacetic and grows. But they do both. Some of them, if they don't really give a shit and they just want to spike up the numbers because they're in the stock market, you know, like, hey, we need our shareholders to see numbers, so they just want to buy the portfolio. They don't give a shit about the staff, right? But in the other case, if they want to invest more and build it and still maintain it and grow it, then they take over everything.
How many people are in the office?
W-2s, I would say about 40.
So if people listening, because again, I always bring bomb squad opportunities. The opportunity I'm hearing here is if somebody wants to learn from a badass that picked himself up from nothing and built one of the biggest processing companies on earth and make some serious dough with recurring revenue. And recurring revenue is why people need to pay attention. Recurring revenue. That's why on your Rolls Royce, it says RR. Most people think that's Rolls Royce. It's recurring revenue that gets that Rolls Royce. And, you know, I was explaining this the other day. People got to understand the value of residual. You know, because I sold cars. I didn't know anything about residual growing up. I sold cars. I sold it. I got paid. And, you know, I imagine selling a car and getting paid every single time they make a payment. And then when they sell that car, get paid again on that commission. Right. And then when that person starts making payments on the same car, you're getting paid.
Right.
That's what it is in the processing space. Every time people use a credit card, you're making, and yeah, someone says, well, it's not very much. Yeah, but thousands of people use these credit cards.
Yeah.
And not only that, it's forever.
Yeah.
So you start collecting those accounts over time, and now you've got what's called freedom.
Yeah.
You could literally quit your job, fire your boss, you know, stay on vacation because you're having a good time, you know, stop answering to other people, because that's what I hated, dude. So I had to find something like that. But it sounds like you could put on some salespeople.
Absolutely,
man.
If
there's people out there looking for an opportunity, where should they call?
Brad, good question, man. Yeah, absolutely. Listen, we're always looking for good opportunity, and people who want to make money, man. The sky's the limit. They can text Moses, M-O-S-E-S, and then 33777. So I'll repeat that again. Moses, you know my name, M-O-S-E-S, and then 33777.
You even got a short code for it. Text Moses to 33777 and freaking A, get a job. B, do they do the same thing if they're a business and they want to get kick-ass rates?
Yeah, absolutely, man. We have special programs out there like cash discount that the banks or other people don't offer, and they can pass on the fees, man. If you're a business owner and you're paying Visa, MasterCard, or the network's too much money, there's other ways to finesse it, and you don't have to do it that way, but at the end of the day, I'm registered, so I get the same rates as Visa, MasterCard gives the banks and anyway, financial institutions. So at the end of the day, it's like, hey, listen, I could still save you in the interchange, or I could save you on some cash discount if you're a business owner.
What does registered mean?
Registered is that you're pretty much legit, like your statements. I mean, you have to have your own customer service, which I do. You have to have your own deployment, which I do, deployment facility. You have to have your own tech support. You have to have, so, I mean, it's like a real company. Like you call my office, there's someone there to answer it. So there's a lot of people that don't know the difference from an ISV to an agent. So at the end of the day, it's a real office. It's a real established. I mean, I have to report to them every year, financials. They're like, hey, is this dude, like, show them bank accounts someone financial. So it's a true legit company. It's not a guy that works out of his garage and he's going to sell you a credit card machine and broke you off to like 3 other different people. No. So it's a one-stop shop place.
And the reason you say that is because like what I'm finding out in that industry is like, dude, it was the wild, wild west.
Yeah, it's crazy out there.
No regulation.
Yeah.
You know, again, I don't ever put down felons because I always say, you know, everybody's probably one. Some just didn't get caught. But like there's a lot of people out there with a felony. Can they go to work?
Yeah, man. Listen, listen. As long as you're not a rapist or a child molester, I mean, don't even freaking call me, bro. Don't even think about it. But listen, I got people who have a felony, bro. They can't even get hired at Target or Walmart, bro. And they're out there crushing it, killing it.
And you're showing them how.
Yeah, we're training them. Yeah, we train them.
See, that's the part that doesn't exist out there.
Yeah.
I mean, there might be one other company, but that's about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dude, Global Payment Solutions. Why'd you name it that?
Global Processing Systems.
Oh, Processing Systems.
Yeah.
Why is Global Payment Solutions? Is that a company?
There's Global Payments. I actually sit on an advisory board for Global Payments. It's by TSYS. So I actually sit on an advisory board. They're one of the big dogs out there.
Oh,
man.
that's why.
Yeah,
I'm
man.
like, oh, I've heard that before.
Yeah, TSYS and them.
It's Global
Processing
Systems. So, dude, what's going on in the industry? What's the big emerging trends?
You know, POSs are good, and the industry for several reasons, because
POS?
The
Piece
POS
of shit?
Yeah.
What's that mean? Piece of shit? When I was young, we call a POS a piece of shit.
Yeah. No, the POS for us stands for point of sale, and we modify it and we tailor it to the business. So let's say it's a hairstyler, right? And he has 15 people there. Boom, we tailor it, and each one it'll go deposit to each bank account. Or let's say you're a CPA, we'll tailor it for the CPA. Say it's a dentist. Let's say you have 4 floors in your restaurant. We go into the POS system, draw out the tables, the numbers, and I mean, we go down and dirty and customize something for the design of the customer. We don't give you just a box that everybody's universal. We go there and move that mechanism and the software to best fits your needs. We're not just a open a box that fits all kind of t-shirt bullshit, you know?
Dude, that's probably why you're popular. Customer service.
Absolutely.
You answer the phone.
100%.
You're customizing the system.
Absolutely. Our statements, Brad, that we send out to every client, right, has a 800 number. There's no answering service I have a rule in my office. You call during business hours. There's no freaking answering service. No one has an answering service. It's a live person, right? And my statements also have my address, where people are welcome to come, whether it's a customer, hey, you have a question, your machines, or you think you're getting jacked around, come in the conference room. So you're more than welcome. Yeah. So I don't hide from no one. I have my doctors, my attorneys, my friends, my family process with me. So I wear my name on my badge at my company, man. So I'm very proud about that. And
will you do like guns and cannabis and high risk or no?
Yeah, you know what? For that, I have a different outfit for that. I can refer you to that. But yes, I do it myself, and I broker that part for the high risk. We do high risk. We do, I mean, some crazy high risk, like stuff that is just not, like CBD shit and pipes and vapes and over the internet, and just like some weird stuff that's out there that if it falls in that market, and there's a lot of call for that, man. So yes, like the banks, regular traditional banks won't take you. They're like, hell no, you're too risky. I do take high risk. Yeah.
Damn. So like, I'm thinking, because I know a couple businesses that probably wouldn't get qualified or approved with a normal one.
Yeah.
Can I send those to you?
Absolutely, Brad. And then, to give you an idea, I mean, some of the banks won't even approve accounts. Let's say you're from Saudi Arabia or freaking different country, China, I don't care. You don't have a social, right? But you have a TIN number, you're legal to be here. Okay, fine. I'll get you in with the networks. You know what I mean? Some of the banks like, I can't. They won't touch them with a 10-foot pole. They're like, no, you could easily run the credit cards, take millions of dollars, and run and leave the country. There's ways you can tie them down and you can still have a business grow and give them the services, man. You just need to be. It's all legit. You just got to be creative. It's all legit where they will approve them with the TIN number.
And dude, people are starting to get you to speak on their stages because of your story and your message. You know, the message is one of faith. I see you on stages now. So what if somebody wants you to come speak for their event?
Yeah, absolutely, man. Listen, I think there's different doors and opportunities that a dude upstairs has blessed me with. So yeah, there's some events that I've already done in the past, and I'm looking forward to even growing that, to be honest with you.
You gonna ever do your own?
You know, it's my own
event.
No, I haven't done one.
Why not?
I'm just a baby into this. This is your world, man. I'm just new to this shit. I started following you recently, man, and it's like it's a totally different world, brother.
Well, it's not my world. It's called the personal development space. It's a pretty big world. It's Tony Robbins' world, and there's a bunch of way bigger people.
Yeah.
But it's a good world for me. Why? Because a lot of people want to talk shit. Gurus and rip-offs. Well, again, dude, there's rip-offs in every industry. But at the end of the day, dude, self-help, in my opinion, that's the best way you're ever going to win, because dude, you are the only one that can actually help yourself. People have to help themselves. And when they see opportunity, like, again, we just told hundreds of thousands of people per month, or however many download this per month. Hey, if you're not making, more than 60, 80 grand a year and you want a couple, opportunities, call you. And I'll bet you hundreds of thousands of people aren't going to call you. You'll get called. You'll get some people like you were that heard an opportunity and reached out. But dude, why do you think, hundreds of thousands of people that hear a message don't react to it?
Just like a lot of people out there, listeners that say, oh, I'm going to start to the gym tomorrow. Start the gym tomorrow. Oh, I'm going to start the diet tomorrow. Start the diet. They're just undedicated people who are just full of shit, and they're no discipline, no dedication. And I don't have time for that. It's like, go cry to someone else. If you want to make money, and we'll train you, and you will get out there and do what we tell you. Then if you're ready for it, come get with us. If not, don't even waste my time, man.
I always say, listen, if I'm going to hire employees, I'm looking for employees with double D's. And everyone goes, oh, that's funny. No, I mean decisive and disciplined.
Love that.
Because, dude, that's all you got to be, is make decisions. Make a damn decision and then be disciplined. You can make decisions and remain disciplined, dude, you're going to be fine. Because if you make the wrong decision, guess what? You figure it out pretty quick, and then you make the opposite, and you're in the right direction. Everyone's always afraid to make a decision because they don't want to be wrong. Like, what is the worst case? You're wrong, but you made a decision, and you have discipline? Dude, you make a decision, you're wrong, bang, now you know the right one. Because, dude, it's obviously not the one you made, it was the other one. Dude, 100. It's just constant correction. Yeah. They say, when you send a rocket into space and into the moon, it fails its way there, because it literally has to recorrect. It's just flying wrong the whole way there, but it still makes it based on constant corrections.
Yeah.
But a lot of people are afraid. Well, dude, I appreciate you coming in, man. I think maybe we can do some biz together.
Love to, man.
You guys go follow this dude, at least on social media, Moses Heredia Jr. You can also find his company on Instagram at Global Processing. You can go to this website. Brother, is it globalprocessingsystems.com?
Yes, sir.
What is this bio site thing? Bio.site. My team wrote it down.
I don't know.
Oh, good. I was going to say, dude, let me give you some counseling.
I don't know what that is.
Don't use that as your website if that's what it is. But no, I see it. Go to globalprocessingsystems.com. And dude, I hope you what's up with the mastermind? I know you're starting a mastermind.
Actually, Brad, that's a good question. I have my team. We're developing a mastermind. I've so many inquiries, man, and DMs from people out there, and I love helping, man. Just like you do it. My mom did it. That's what she taught me. So people have questions about starting their own company, making business decisions, or they just want to send a message. So we're starting something up that's a mastermind that we're going to be inviting some people, so they can get a hold of me on the same way. Just text Moses, and then it's 336 777. And then, yeah, we're starting that up actually, man, because the inquiries, Brad, there's a lot high volume of entrepreneurs out there that are seeking advice and real true advice by someone who's really created something. Not about these fake ass gurus out there. I'm new to this bubble, right? But I'm finding out there's a bunch of fake people out there.
Bunch of them, dude. Bunch of them.
This is crazy, brother. It's amazing.
Well, again, dude, there's bad people in every business.
True.
And there's a lot of people that literally make money selling you on how to make money, and then you realize, well, how did they make money? You know, from you, fool. So I always tell people, if you want to learn how to sell people courses on how to get rich, then find someone who got rich selling courses. Because again, dude, to me, there's no secret. Here's what you do to get anything you want in life. You ready? For all the youngsters listening, this is a fact. Number one, you got to figure out what it is. That's hard enough. Most people don't ever get to that point. Literally figure out what it is you want. Then you figure out how to get it. People go, well, no shit, but that's the hard part. No, that's the easy part. All you do is find someone who's already done it.
100% well said.
You find someone who's already done it. And then guess what? Step 3, you do the work. And that's where a lot of people fail, because they're like, oh, I don't want to freaking get my power shut off. I ain't going to my neighbor to get some power. I'm not riding a bike with a hurt back. I'm not going to continue. I'm going to freaking figure out a different way. And they'll quit. Yeah. Well, you never quit. That's why you're driving Rolls Royces and now helping all these different people and spreading the message.
Yeah, man.
Good job, buddy. Well, listen, if you get big in this industry, you know, in this guru industry, a lot of people start following you. You become one. What are you going to do then?
I'm going to come and hit you up and let's partner up, my Brian. Yeah. What's up, Brad?
Well, you should be doing some events.
Yeah.
Because again, you're getting booked on stages because of your story and your speaking. But dude, what's better than going to somebody's event and speaking on their stage? Speaking on your own stage.
Oh man.
Come out. And I don't know if, you know, I don't know of a bunch of, there's very few Latino gurus if there are any.
Yeah, you're right.
You know, I know one dude and I give him the same advice. I said, dude, do your own shit. Start freaking gathering the troops, because I'm telling you guys, you know, there's a lot of value in helping people. That's, to me, you know, how you make money. When people say, how do you get rich, Brad? Figure out how to help people and then help a lot of them. Like if you help 1 million people, trust me, you'll be a millionaire. You know, you can either help 1 million people or help one person do something major. Like, you know, one big problem will get you rich, or a whole bunch of little problems will get you rich. But that's how you get rich. You solve problems. Yeah. You're solving people's processing problems. Anyway, I appreciate you coming in, brother.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
If you ever need me, let me know, folks. Go follow this dude, use his services. If you're, you know, not making a lot of money and you want to hang around this type of culture, you want to be trained, then hit him up. And you do that by going to Moses, or no, you text Moses to 33777. And by the way, tell him the Bomb Squad sent you. Till next time, keep it real.